Let's now talk about sensory motor development. Sensory motor development. Piaget broke infancy down into different substages. Okay, as it relates to sensory motor development. Well, in previous videos, we already talked about the development of object purpose. Now we're going to talk about development sensory motor development. Month one, and you think about the Apgar scale. As soon as the baby's within 5 minutes after the baby's born, they give the baby, the infant, the newborn, the Apgar scale. Okay, and like I said, 7 is average, 10 is perfect, 5 could be some problems, and 7 is generally normal. I mean, generally, very few infants have 10. Okay, coming out of it, and you see, I have to have it outlined on later on. But think about 1 month reflexes. That's the main thing they're doing. Okay, moving around, moving their head, looking around, noticing things. Okay. And also back to the attachment, how the development of the primary caregiver is taking place. Okay, so the main thing you get there is your schemas and automatic responses to stimuli. Schemas, grasping is a schema, reaching out is a schema, sucking to a certain extent is a schema. Okay, yeah, okay, you're talking about schemas. Okay, that's all you really get pretty much there. And then after a month, 2 months, you talk about what is a schema. A schema is basically an organized way of knowing the world or an organized sequence of actions. Okay, I said grasping is one example of a schema. Month 2, a combination of assimilation of those reflexes kick in. Accommodation and assimilation. Okay, assimilation is using and interpreting information. Accommodation is adjusting one's database. Okay, so the baby used to grasp the rattle, but now he picks up a ball. So he has to accommodate a little bit in terms of how he picks that ball up compared to how he picks up. But they're going through infancy, assimilating information. When you can't assimilate it, you accommodate. We'll talk about assimilation and accommodation, particularly when we start getting into childhood a little more in detail. Okay, this is when you start at primary circular reaction. You start seeing that month 2 to 4. Okay, primary circular reaction, repeating interesting act with one's own body, sucking your thumb. Be an example. Okay, move like this. I'm moving my hand. Now, some people's adults who kind of play with your hair when you're thinking. Okay, or that would be more. Oh, you say pull your ear a little bit. Primary. You repeating an interesting act with one's body. Maybe by accident, if it puts his thumb in his mouth, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. So that's primary circular reaction. Okay. And then and let's talk about 4 to 8 months old, you start seeing what they call secondary circular reactions. Around 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, secondary circular reactions. Okay, in other words, repeating an interesting act with an object, throwing a ball, shaking a rattle. In other words, it's interesting. Shook that rattle, man, that's interesting. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. Okay, that's what we're talking about, secondary circular reaction. Okay, but think about that. Repeating interesting act with object. Okay, the child becomes more focused on the world. As the child grows older, now the eyes are starting to focus. Because the newborns, you put them, their vision's not that good. So you pick them and put them right in your face. But now they're starting to focus a little bit more, moving in towards 6, 7, 8 months. Now they're starting to understand that mom and me are different entities. Up until about 3 or 4 months, the child sees self and mom as the same entity, but now you start realizing that me and mom are separate, and this is when you start seeing a little separation anxiety kick in. You're 6, 7, 8 months, then it kind of peaks around 12, 13, 14 months, but right now you're starting to see it. Okay, and look at thinking of that. So, and also you're talking about 4 to 8 months, doing a lot of different things that learning how to work mom. Okay, I cry now. They have a communication set up with mom. Mom knows what state the child is by what type of cry. The kid's bored. They have one type of cry when they're bored. The other cry when they're in pain, and that relationship is developing that way. Okay, but that's also secondary circular reactions. In other words, repeating interesting act to control mom. Okay, if I cry a certain way, mom will come. Okay, then you have 8 to 12 months. They have coordinating secondary circular reactions. In other words, now they can shake a bed to make the mobile move up above, or they can move the bed like that, move their crib around by moving it different ways. Okay, or push a button on the stereo to make it go up. Okay, that's what we're talking about in terms of coordinating secondary circular. Think about Baseball. Baseball. Okay, throwing a ball. Okay, you go to one part of the baseball field and it's called a pitching area where you practice throwing the ball over and over again. You're throwing the ball. Okay, that would be what? Secondary circular action, repeating interact with an object. Okay, and there's another section of that same baseball area where batting area where you're using the bat to hit the ball. Using the bat to hit the ball. Bat the ball. That's your coordinating secondary circular reactions. And then playing catch is tertiary circular reaction. Okay, playing catch. Okay, in other words, playing catch involves throwing the ball and catching the ball and chasing the ball. So you're talking about tertiary circular reaction is basically you're talking about 12 to 18 months or 9 to 12 months